Welcome back. Um, Today, as promised, I'm going to do my update to my 1947 through 66 exhibit set. Um, I've got about 40 cards to go through, and I'll try my best to make it not drag on, but I'll get going right away here. My first card, I'm going to go alphabetical. There's no numbers on these cards. We'll start with Steve Bilko. There's two versions of this card. The other version has a postcard. This is the blank back version. And he goes right in here next to Blackwell. The next one up is Ken Boyer. And this is the 1961 version, just by the width of the printed in USA on the bottom. It's also blank back. And he goes in after Don Blasingame. As you can see, there's two different versions of Don Blasingame there. The next guy up, got to find Bubba Church. There's Bubba. Okay. So he'll be on the next page. The next guy up is Rocky Colavito. Got a little ink mark there, but that's okay. And this one is from the 1960s. There's three different versions of Tony, or Rocky, I'm sorry. Rocky goes the second one on this page. And then we go to Mort Cooper. Mort Cooper was only printed in 1947. And this is Mort Cooper here. And he goes in right next to his brother Walker. There's the Cooper battery right there. Walker Cooper, Mort Cooper. And then we go to Joe Cunningham batting. And this one's from the 1960s. These are all blank back. I don't have any of the postcard back versions or the stat back versions in this set. So he goes in right after Del Crandall. Next up is Elvin Dark. And this one was only printed in 1959, where he has the Chicago Cubs logo. He also has examples from the Boston Braves and New York Giants. And there's a New York Giant one there. So he'll go in here. That's the newest of all the Elvin Dark cards. Right after Elvin, it's Murray Dixon. Murray's also one of those cards that was only made in 1947 with St. Louis Browns. He goes right next to Elvin. And then we got next page, we got a Joe Dobson. Joe was only made in 1948. Boston Red Sox. So he'll be a tougher one to get. All the players that were only printed 1 year are a little tougher to get. Like the Satchel Paige was only made in 1949. It's a little bit tougher to get. These are two different versions of Larry Doby, made in USA and printed in USA. Next up, skip a couple pages here. We have Augie Galan. Augie was only made in 1948. And he does, notice it's an older photo because he hadn't played since 1941, but he's in a 1948 exhibit card. And he'll be up here farther. He should be right next to Carl Furillo. There's Carl. So we put Augie up here right next to Jim Gentile. And on the next page, we have Dick Grote in the wrong spot here. So put him down there. We'll have Ted Greengrass. Ted was printed between 54 and 56. And it should be Jim instead of Ted. They got the name wrong, and you notice this is printed in USA, all caps. So it goes right next to Billy Goodman. So turn the page. And this is a different example of Frank Gustine. This is the one of the Pirates uniform, and the one there is a blank airbrushed out uniform. So this is 1948 with the Pirates, and the one with the blank is 1949, the following year. So he goes right in here. It's just amazing how many different poses there are, or different years these were printed. I think, yeah, so the next one will be Kirby Higbee. And he'll be going in right next to Whitey Herzog. So we'll go through the pages here until we get to Whitey. There's some Whitey Herzog right here at the bottom. So we'll stick Kirby in there. And Kirby was only printed in 1947. He was one of them guys. Same with the next guy on my list. Bill Johnson. He was only printed in 1948. It's the old Yankee pinstripes there. He'll go in next to Sam Jethro. You can see some of the cards in the set here. There's Sam Jethro up on top, so Bill Johnson goes there. Next we'll have one of the Ted Kluszewski options. He has like 5 different cards. This is the printed in USA, all caps. So it's printed in 54 through 58. He'll come in right after a space between him and Ralph Kiner. There's Ralph Kiner. So Ted will be right here, right below Ralph Kiner. The next one on the list will be Cleveland Indian Hall of Famer, Bob Lemon, and you can see part of the glove down there. It also says an exhibit card on the left side, made in USA on the right. So this is from 1949, and that will go in next to the Bob Lemon with no glove. There's another version of Ted Kluszewski. Here's the batting over here, and there's a portrait. Tony Kubek, a couple versions there. There's the other Bob Lemon. You can see that one has no glove, and it's like a blow up of this one. So we'll start with Bob Lemon over on this page. We have another Hall of Famer here, Marty Marion. And this was with the St. Louis Browns, so it was made in the early 50s, 51, 52. The older version has them with the Cardinals, and it says an exhibit card on the left side. Isn't this fun? And he's after Mickey Mantle. So we'll get to see the Mickey Mantles. There's 3 of the different Mickey Mantles there. The bottom 2 are a little bit different. One's made in USA and one's printed in USA. And there's a Mickey, another Mickey printed in USA, and the C and the K and Mickey do not touch on that one. So that's a variation. And I'm missing the pinstripe Mickey. That's the only Mickey I believe I'm missing. And Marty goes down at the bottom there. And the next one is either going to be a upgrade or a color variation. And that one is none other than the Say Hey Kid, Willie Mays, made in USA. And let's see what this one looks like. That says printed in USA, so these 2 are different. Printed in USA was made in 1958, and this one was made in approximately 1952. So I don't have a spot for that Willie, so we'll make one for him now. That was a variation I wasn't expecting. So that's a bonus for me. So now I got those 2 versions of Mickey, made in and printed in. And the next one will be Albert Dutch Mealy. And that's a 1948 exhibit. He's right after Gil McDougall. There's Albert Dutch Mealy. You can see the made in USA, printed in USA on the 2 McDougalls. Not easy to see, but take my word for it. Here's next guy is right next door, Sam Mealy. I don't believe they were related. Sam is a nephew of Al and Tony Cuccinello. And this one was made between 54 and 56. The next guy on the list is Del Rice. And let's see who he's going to be next to. There's the two different mini Minosos up there, the White Sox version, Indians version. Del Rice will be by the Pee Wee Reese cards. Yeah. There are three versions of Don Newcomb, Camilo Pasquale, Johnny Pesky. That's my only autographed one, is the Gary Peters. You can barely see it. There's Pee Wee Reese. These are three different versions. Made in USA and printed in USA with the ball showing. And down here is a made in USA with no ball showing. So we'll add Del Rice to that page. That's a great catching card right there. Has his mask up, his great pose, glove out. Then we go to Kluszewski. Oh, the Del Rice is printed in 1958. So Kluszewski will be after Hank Sauer. Oh, there's my Jackie Robinson. There's Kluszewski. That's with the Braves. M on the cap. And he is with a P on the cap. And the one that I already have on this page is a blank cap. So I've got all three versions of Kluszewski. I got the rainbow. And the next one is Johnny Schmitz. I already have one version of him. Looks like a duplicate. Same tint and everything. The new one is better looking, so we're going to go with the new one. And Johnny Schmitz, that was printed in between 54 and 57. The next one up is Red Shandings. It's a nice Cardinals picture of him. And I see there's a Red Shandings down there. And I believe this one goes right up here. And that card is from, well, it was printed in 47, 48, and 49 with 2 feet showing. And you can see 2 feet showing. There's another version with only 1 foot showing. And we'll stay in the S's. The next guy will be Herb Score. And Herb comes right after Red. That's the Herb. There's another version of Herb Score with a blank hat. Andy Semenick is the next one. Well, Herb was printed in 59. Andy Semenick. This one was printed in between 54 and 57. And he comes right after the Herb Scores. The other blank one will be the other Herb Score. Next up is Roy Sievers. And it looks like I may have all the Roy Sievers now. This is the 1950 one with him at the St. Louis Browns. Roy is a great guy. Got his autograph many times at the Roger Maris Golf Tournament. There's a whole page of Roy Sievers variations. W on the hat, Washington uniform. Same there with the black dark background. Here's one with the background in light. Next we have Duke Snider. And these two are different tints. This is the Los Angeles Dodger version, not the... You can tell better on the shoulder there. One is darker than the other. And I wasn't expecting to have multiple versions of that one either, so I'm going to put them back to back, make room for them later. They're right next to Warren Spahn, so it's basically knocking off two there. Next one is another great catcher pose, Bertie Tebbets. Bertie was only printed in '49. He has the and exhibit card there. And I'll look for Snuffy Sternweiss. There's Snuffy there. And Bertie will be up here by Frank Thomas, one of the Frank Thomas versions. You can see there's another Frank Thomas down below. And I'm not sure how to pronounce Bill Vosele, I'm guessing. This is another one that was only 1947. And yes, I need cheat sheets for this. It's kind of a complicated set to put together. And he'll be next to Mickey Vernon. There's two versions of Mickey also. There's the fielding Mickey. And there's the batting Mickey. And Bill will go right next to the batting Mickey. Next is Eddie Waitkus. There's several versions of him. This is a newer version. I believe it's a 1955 portrait version. And he'll go next. Here's one down here. This one has Chicago on his chest. This one is blank. And he'll go up here next between the other Eddie and Dick Wakefield. Next up is Wes Westrom. He was only made in 1950, Minnesota native. And he'll go next to Wally Westlake. Right there. And we have Al Zarilla. Al was made between 50 and 51. He looks so young there. And Al will go next to Gus Thurneal. And Gus has two different cards. I've got one of them. Here we come to the team cards. I did pick up this 1950 Yankee World Champions. And let's look for the Yankees. Dodgers. Oh, 1950 Yankees. There's 49. I already have 50, but this appears to be a different tint. So I'm going to have to put those back to back for now. And I have the 51 Yankees. We'll put that there. We'll go backwards a little bit to the Brooklyn Dodgers. This is a 52 Dodgers. See Jackie on there, Campy in the front row. We'll see which one of these is better. And the one I had is better. Yeah. Looks like, well, I better check on the tint. The tint's a little bit different, so isn't this fun? My set is just going to grow. Every time I add cards, I'm going to find some that I need to keep. Here's the 1954 Cleveland Indians. Oh. I'm going to put that right after the 1948 Cleveland Indians. Cleveland had some good teams back in the day. Well, I know I went a little long here, but I got all my cards I picked up at the National put into the set. And I'd like to thank everybody for watching, and please post in the comments below if you have any questions. Thanks everyone for watching. Have a wonderful weekend.